Hi everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my tarot channel today. I wanted to share a quick reading, and the first card that I chose was Page of Wands reversed. So you may feel as though you are ready to go on a quest, or you were ready and now it's feeling premature, or you're feeling maybe cold feet is what I'm feeling. That is happening, maybe with some venture in your life that is linked to passion. We also got Place of Trees reversed from the Shining Tribe Tarot. It says, moving out into the world, travel, leaving a safe environment, possible conflicts between people in a particular environment. So these could be, combined to mean, part of your experience right now could be related to sort of an itch to get out there in some sense. We also got the Wolf Spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom, from the Colette Baron Reed deck. It says, Wolf Spirit leads you deep into the enchanted forest that holds the secrets to your life. Can you sense her beckoning you to follow, asking you to take all you have learned and all you're learning and make it yours? Can you integrate it into your body, mind, and spirit? Whatever lessons you learned along the way, do not leave them unexamined. Be loyal to your dreams, to your soul, and to turning knowledge into wisdom and experience into magic. Now is the time to look into the world with reverence and awe and an insatiable curiosity. You will never grow old if you're willing to keep learning. Wolf Spirit is waiting to be your mystical, loving guide. So, and it says, when Wolf Spirit appears, you're being told not to pretend you know something when you don't. You won't impress anyone with a little bit of knowledge. In fact, you rob yourself of a true experience and education if you tell yourself you are done learning. So it's really about, having a thirst for knowledge, which does have to do with these two cards, because this could be about, like, maybe you're looking for more in your life, and you're being called to go beyond the aspects of self or aspects of the world as you know it. So I wanted to also do a few cards. I was thinking about relationships, whether it be friendships or familial relationships or love relationships, and why they don't work out. So I wanted to do a quick reading about a relationship that didn't work out with you. And I hope you take into account the first part of the reading that was really about maybe what's holding you back from going out into the world and from experiencing things to gain knowledge is that something about how you related with others makes you afraid of learning more about love or loving. So let's ask, what was the nature of this relationship? We got the Chariot reversed. So this was a relationship about maybe you pushed each other to do things, and maybe there was a pre-life intention, as the number 7 here is here. And the 12th house is related, or Pisces, Neptune, is related to the number 7. So anyway, this could be also the number 7 is about the 7th house and open enemies and open friend relationships. The relation, who we're drawn to. Not like open relationships. I mean like the people that we interact with, that we attract in our lives. Anyway, so all those aspects may have been like representative of like all the relationships in your life, maybe in some capacity. So how did you see this person then? You saw them as maybe deceptive. How do you see them now? You see them as with a sense of nostalgia, an element of your youth and innocence, reminds you of maybe happy times in your childhood, or a sense of, a time when you were naive and young. And how did they see you? How did they see you then? They saw you as maybe a financial opportunity or some sort of opportunity. Maybe they saw you as currency in their life in some way. And how do they see you now? Or maybe they thought that you had all the opportunities were being given to you. How they see you now is they see that you have a lot of folly, maybe. That you just do things and you don't, you do things with the glee and abandon of a child in some ways, and maybe they even admire that about you. So how did they feel? What is the energetic signature overall for everyone in this relationship? Ooh. Imbalance, there's an injustice happening, and also the Emperor, so control and an imbalance of justice. Those may make sense to you. And from the person asking, what is their main feeling about the situation? They see you see this person as the world. You see this relationship as, maybe representing a microcosm again, and how they see the situation now. They're feeling maybe a little disempowered, a little disconnected with their passion for life. So what does Spirit want for this connection? What does Spirit want for the future of this connection? Spirit wants each person to focus on their own happiness, their own 10 of cups. What does Spirit want for you, the watcher, in terms of this connection? To realize that it's maybe there's disappointing aspects of it, and it's okay that sometimes we're disappointed. The 5 can also be change, Maybe once we see something for how it is, we're disappointed. Maybe there's times in your life where you were not allowed to express your disappointment, and that could be holding you back. So maybe even expressing, wow, I was so disappointed. Not to, focus on the bad stuff, but like letting out your disappointment. And how, what about on their end? What's the Spirit wanting for the future on their end? They want them to deal with their depression. That's their future, is dealing with their sadness and depression. So what was the purpose of this meeting in this life? The purpose of interacting for the 2 people that this is about? Well, we got the heartbreak card, so maybe this was to make you, more tender-hearted, because once we've experienced heartbreak, we're likely to have more compassion. What else? Anything else Spirit wants us to know about your side of the street, you viewer who's watching? This was a burden, or this is a burden, and it's time to let go of the burden. And let's do one more. What does Spirit want us to know about their side of the street, the person who you had this interaction or relationship with? They're looking for public recognition right now. That's their main concern. Let's get a card from the Zen Tarot about this situation. Who, I was gonna say who, but I meant, why, or, what is the source of conflict in the situation? impatience, and projections in the 7th house here, so number 7. We got 2 7s actually. So maybe one person is impatient, or like, you know, there's cycles, there's the moon cycles here, you know, so maybe there's cycles that you're going through, that they're going through, that like just aren't matching up right now, if that makes sense. And maybe there's a I'm feeling a lot of impatience on somebody's end. And projections, you know, obviously if you've ever read anything about like psychology or therapy or any analysis, like if you're working with a therapist, you're at some point going to like project stuff onto them. You know, you'll make them your mom or your whatever, your partner. And that's just human nature. And then the therapist will project onto you. And that's just part of like psychology. So anyway, just being aware of like, and also the 7 is about deceptions and illusions. So being aware of like who's projecting what. You know, it's hard to be aware, but maybe you've been feeling insecure, and you know, you're projecting that insecurity, or they're feeling insecure and projecting their insecurity. I'm gonna ask for one more card about what does Spirit want us to know about the conclusion of this situation. What are we supposed to learn from this situation and this relationship? What is our soul meant to learn here? Existence. And the number 1. So, you know, and we also got fighting. So, like, maybe existence is fighting. You know, I also got no thingness. So, like, existence and no thingness, there's some dialectics there for you. We exist and we're also nothing. And, you know, fighting. So, like, it's kind of like with relationships too, like we're all just doing the best we can in the moment, and relationships come and go. In the end, we only have the relationship with ourselves, and then this is the number 5 here, so more change. We only have the relationship in our mind with the world, if that makes sense. So being able, I think with the fighting here, don't fight with reality is what I want to say. You know, like sometimes people are there and they making your existence acknowledged or your feeling acknowledged, and then sometimes things change and there's no one there, but you're, you know, you're learning right now a little bit about how we're all connected in the psychic field, and also about how you know, love is not just an active service. It's not just an adjective, but it's a verb. So I'm sorry, it is an active service. It's not just a thing, but it's not just relating with others, it's relating to the world. So if there's a no thingness, if you're in an empty vacuum of space, or a picture, you know, if you ever read that book, Johnny Got His Gun, in the end where the guy is like blind and has no, I think, appendages and no ear, he can't hear or speak. It's sort of like within that nothingness, there's still the soul and the spirit, which, you know, when we die, I believe blends with all that there is. And yet we're still we're unified, and yet we're still singular in our identity. So anyway, those are just some things to think about, like some of the polarities and the dichotomies and the, you know, about the people in your life and the projections you may be going through. I talked last time about how the wolf, I was reading in Freud, like the wolf representing the father in some instances, and we got the wolf spirit, and also the number 4, which is about foundation, because when you add this up and all the numbers, it's going to be 4 in the end. Anyway, your foundation of your sense of self could be about fathering others, which sounds ridiculous maybe, but like maybe even if you're a woman, maybe like you've been able to be a masculine presence for others, a stable force. And I think that in dealing with codependency, with the no thingness and the thingness that we were doing with the cards just now, it's not just realizing that we're one with the universe and we're independent, but also like you don't have to take care of everyone. So like somebody needs to hear that. You don't have to, like, it's not your job to be this, because with the mother is the flow, with the father is the foundation. So it's not your job to be the foundation for everyone. And I hope that you hear that. And I keep getting this Pyramid of Light, Psychic Protection. I keep getting this card over and over. As a being of light, darker energies may at times seek to interfere with your spiritual progress. There is nothing to fear, and only more awareness of the power and protection of divine love to experience. The Pyramid of Light confirms that energies have been causing interference with your path, and it is now time for the interference to cease completely through loving divine power. So I was reading some of the symbolism of pyramids recently, because I sort of like will get images, and that was one of my things I've been seeing a lot lately. It's obviously linked to Egypt, and really it's a symbol of life after death, which is really links in nicely with what I was just talking about the soul living on after we die, and about how that still has to do with like codependency, like who am I, who is the other, and who am I, and I need you, but I need to be myself on my own. That's like death too, like we're losing the body, but we're fusing with the world, with the ethers around us, but then we still have that identity of the soul. So I want to just actually pull one last card for some closing thoughts from Spirit for this reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're interested in donating to my Patreon or getting a private reading, please message me. So we got Judgment. So this is like, there's a conclusion happening. Maybe you're not aware. There's like an ending. Maybe we're like putting some old things to rest with this, whatever this relationship we were talking about was. Maybe it's like some old wounding or some old pain. And, as I always, the first thing I think with this card is, you could think of the Judgment Day when we're all called to atone for our sins, or to be accountable for our sins. But also, on the Judgment Day, it's not just a day of reckoning. It's also like it's a celebratory day, because in theory you're moving on to a better place. You're moving on to heaven, or whatever you want to call it. And we do keep hitting the number 7, which is the highest heaven, the spiritual heaven. I hope that this was healing for you, and that you can remember that, everyone's just doing the best they can. And the person who maybe disappointed you in this reading, I'm sure that they didn't mean it, because even if they did mean it, that's coming from, what we call in the Course of Miracles, that's like not the truth. Like if they did mean it, they were like identifying with their pain body, if you want to go Eckhart Tolle on it. yeah, so I hope that you have a great day.